Okay, so we got some iron pipe going from Oakland, California to Utah. So this is gonna be a fun run. Depending if we get like any, hopefully we don't get too many accident scenes or anything like that along the way. And I'm hoping that that's not the case. Like we can just run right through, not have any problem, you know. So, you know, we might have some problems, but we'll wait and see if we, you know, have any problems getting out of here. We shouldn't. We should be alright, I would imagine. I wouldn't imagine there being too much, you know, in the way. So, like I say, as long as we don't run into any accidents or anything getting out of here, we should make some good time. Anytime we do lose, you know, we can always, you know, try to catch it back. So that's the only thing we can do. And I'm hoping to get from here all the way back into Utah and see what we got coming out of Utah. Hopefully something good. I'm hoping for, like, you know, big ticket money loads, but if we don't get anything, you know, it's whatever. But I just decided to take this one because it sounded kind of cool and pretty easy little load. And it's like, alright, we'll go to Utah. We'll see what we can pull up out of there. I don't know, maybe I can, you know, get something coming back to California. Maybe. I mean, the only place I would probably go would be Stockton or somewhere around there. Because once you get there, you know, you could, you know, decide to go, you know, north or south at that point. It's almost like a middle for sometimes. At least in this game, it's like the middle ground of, because you can go north or south at that point. Or you can go, you know, back east and you can go to Colorado, you know, you can go anywhere you really want. So I'm hoping that, you know, we can get to where we gotta go and, you know, nothing bad, but it sounded like an easy, you know, everything sounds like an easy run on paper, and then it's like, once you get running it, then it's like, oh, you know, then you start noticing like problems that are gonna come up. But we got plenty of fuel and we have plenty of hours remaining, so we should not need to rest. Maybe once, depending on how, you know, long we go. If we go, you know, all the way there, all the way not, it's kind of like, if we push hard, we're gonna, you know, probably need to rest more. You know, depending, it's just depending on how fast I go, I guess. But, you know, the speed limit's probably like, gonna be like 55 all the way there, probably. So, I mean, it could take us some hours, but as long as we stay at 55, you know, you're still gonna be making time. So, that's always a good thing. Okay. Well, we're just kinda, like, almost getting ready to get up on the highway, I would imagine, eventually. On the one section, because this one, you know, it doesn't feel like a highway, but it could be. It might as well be. So, I think we're gonna have to follow this up until a point where we turn and get, like, on, you know, the big highway. Which, you know, might be coming up ahead, you know, judging by the GPS here. We're gonna be making a right-hand turn once we get up there. Basically be getting on the big highway and just basically running it the whole way. I'm hoping for smooth sailing, but you never can. You know, you want all the smooth sailing in the world, but they don't. That never happens half the time, but it can sometimes. It just depends, I guess. But with us getting out at, you know, at the night where everybody's in bed sleeping and all that, you know, we should be in kind of a good shape, because by morning we'll be gone from this place. So, you know, as long as you look at it that way. See, if you travel at night, you know, you can get places sometimes a little bit faster than you can during the day, and that's kind of a good thing, I would imagine. But for certain things, that's probably a good thing. For other things, probably not. For what we're trying to do, probably. But yeah. I mean, I'm not seeing very much traffic, and if I do, it's like probably people coming home or going away to work, you know. It's either or. Most of the time, though, it's just other trucks probably on the road, I would imagine. you know, past a certain time, like, I'd say, you know, at least, I would imagine 10 o'clock or so, or something like that, like, at night, like, the highway probably wouldn't be, I mean, there's gonna be some cars on it, I would imagine, but, you know, mostly probably freight moving, because a lot of freight moves probably at night. Probably for that same reason, that you can go places a little bit faster at night than you can during the day. And that's just, I think that's actually been a proven fact for a while. But it's like, it's a pretty good, you know, fact. That, you know, there's probably less accidents, I would imagine. At least bad ones, because I've only ever heard of, like, certain bad accidents at night, but I haven't heard of, you know, as many as, like, during the day. Which I still don't understand. It's kind of, like, weird sometimes. But yeah, we'll just pretty much, you know, just keep it between, you know, the people. Hopefully we won't hit anybody, but, you know, if it can't be helped, it can't be helped, you know. We'll try our best not to, right? But yeah, the way that this truck right here is pretty much stock, which is kind of good and bad. The one reason that it's bad is because when you start climbing, like, up to an intersection from an exit, it's kind of a pain, and it's always been a pain, so I would imagine that we would have to probably change the motor at some point just to get a little bit better hill climbing. Because if I wouldn't have been going down that highway and then just kind of, you know, made it from like first gear, it would have been a fight the whole way up. So I would imagine that would be a problem at some point. Like, I would imagine if we were hauling like oversized or something like that, that might be a problem, because get oversized probably up and down would probably be even worse. But I'm just saying, for right now, even with just regular cargo, it's a pain. So we might have to, you know, change or upgrade the motor, or change it, or however we gotta do it. You know, we gotta do something. Cause let me tell you, it's not fun trying to go uphill on this thing. It like loses like a bunch of speed. So say the speed limit's 55 or 65 or 75 or anything like that. Trying to keep a constant speed in this one is not going to be easy. Because generally, I would like to at least upgrade the motor, at least a little bit, have a little bit more horsepower. I know that's probably going to take away from, like, if you were pulling like straight normal cargo, it wouldn't matter too much, but eventually I like to set this one up maybe for a heavy haul. But it wouldn't matter anyway, because we're still gonna need hill climbing abilities anyway. If we go to like Colorado, we're gonna have issues, or somewhere like that, we might have issues with the stock truck there. I would imagine anyway. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm looking at maybe upgrading the motor in this truck and maybe the transmission too. Because it's only got, you know, it's only a 10 speed. We might upgrade to an 18 speed. Not so sure if I want to do that right now, but at some point that's going to have to happen. That and the upgraded motor probably will happen eventually. Might happen next time, who knows? Because it sounds fun. You know? And maybe eventually, you know, I could, you know, trade this up so I can get maybe a cab at some point. Get a little sleeper in this cab. Even if it's just a little one. I'm happy with it. You know. But, you know, it's just gonna be, you know, that's what I have to do at some point. Is that I hope that doesn't happen, but it could. It could happen. It could come to the point where we would have to. The other thing I think we're gonna have to maybe do is set our rest clock here, maybe. And I kind of bumped him. I didn't try to though. It's just like some of these roads are almost like too small. Like, the lanes are almost too small for the trucks sometimes. Just saying, sometimes they are, not all the time. Like, see, I have to go to the outside view camera sometimes just to turn into places like this. Yeah. I mean, we could reset our clock here or try to push on. You might as well, you know, do that service that's going to be required, then move on. Yeah, we might reset our clock here or not. I don't know, it just depends. I guess if we don't have to, we don't have to. We'll just kind of keep pushing as much as we can until we have to, I believe. That to be the best move. At least in this situation. If we can keep moving, just keep going and going, we should be alright. We're not going to be, you know... Even that little thing cut some time off, probably. We're going to be running maybe a little bit behind, but... I'd rather have it repaired, ready to go, you know, rather than not. And then we just get back on the highway, hopefully. And then, you know, just continue about our day. I mean, this thing needed a little bit of a service anyway, so... That's what I'm saying, is like, you kind of almost damage the engine a little bit, like, just over time, probably going up and down, you know, on ramps and exits. I would imagine just over time it would hurt your motor at some point, but you know, I stopped a little bit short, but that's okay. And it just turned green as I, you know, start trying to roll forward, so that's good. So as long as we just kind of just stay in this lane, should be okay, because then we can turn and get back on the highway. That's the whole thing that I have, is like, certain roads kind of exist, and then it's like other roads are like, just why are they here? But that's okay. Yeah, we'll see about possibly, you know, maybe going to Colorado, maybe, or we'll go somewhere. We could probably run to Idaho if we wanted to. I don't know where I want to exactly run and end up, I guess, at the end of it. Or we might go back to California, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of sitting here trying to figure out where I want to go. I mean, we can go back to California, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I probably, you know, should have reset right there where I had the truck repaired, but I figured we can push on a little bit. So, we don't really need any gas right now neither, so we're doing okay. So, as long as we keep going, we should be alright. As long as we don't have too many hold-ups and having to stop too many times, we should be okay on fuel, depending on, you know, if you want to go too fast or not, you know. But I'm just trying to, you know, keep it at a constant speed, and this truck just doesn't want to. Because it seems like once you get up the speed a little bit on this one, it's just, you know, a little bit almost top heavy sometimes, like when you turn left or right sometimes. Might just be because I'm using a controller too, but yeah, who knows. It's one of the things has to be the problem, right? But you know, as long as we keep going, like I said, you know, we should be fine. We should be coming up on daytime. And then, like, when we have daytime, it's going to be more traffic. But for right now, we're just going to take advantage of the fact that we don't have that much traffic. And it's either, you know, other trucks, mainly. I mean, yeah, there's some cars on the road, don't get me wrong. But most of it should just be trucks. And, I mean, a few passenger cars and that probably here and there. But for the majority of the time at night, moving... It should be trucks, I would imagine. Not 100% sure if that's like how that whole thing works, but I think that's how it works out. because you're always gonna need, you know, somebody to move something from somewhere. So that's probably how it works. But I would imagine after this we can see how much. Maybe next time we'll see about how much I gotta get to actually upgrade the motor, because I kind of want to do that. And I also want to own a trailer at some point too, but I don't remember what level you unlock that at. I'm not exactly sure. I guess I could look that up probably, but I haven't. It's like, you know, these things, I look them up sometimes, not all the time, right? So that'd be another thing, I guess, for me to figure out, because some of the trailers that I want to own, I don't know if we can move some of the cargo, just because the truck just has a problem pulling trailers sometimes, and it just depends on what speed we're gonna go and where we're gonna go with it. The cargo, that is. So I think as long as we don't have any, you know, bad accident scenes coming up in the next few miles, we'll make up all the time that I lost. So eventually, though, we will have to rest, and I understand that. So hopefully it's not for a little bit, and that we can get in as much driving as we can. I mean, there's a rest stop coming up here anyway, so I mean, we could stop and rest, or we just keep pushing. Either way, it's fine with me. So, and maybe why not? We could try to push more. See, the reason here that I don't want to stop here is because there's no fuel or anything around, because I'm starting to run out. So worst case scenario is I rest here and go find another place, or I go find a place that has, you know, a gas station and all that with it. That might be the best option, because then I can get both the things that I need. Some rest and some fuel. Both of those you're gonna need. But, you know, it's fine. But yeah, that's where I'm thinking, is do a little bit of upgrades, have a little bit more power, just in case we're gonna take, you know, some oversized every once in a while. I mean, we could do it with this truck. It's just stock. It's just gonna take forever. Having a little bit of upgrades, you know, that means that it can climb the hills. Not that it can climb them fast, just that it can climb hills a little bit easier. And I think that's kind of what this truck needs. You know, we're not gonna totally go away from normal cargo, but, you know, we're gonna have to see, you know, what we can get as far as trailers. If we get like dry van or flatbed, I think I might go flatbed. You know, or something like that. But I'm not gonna, you know, go one way or the other until I figure out what type of cargo I want to haul for a little bit. Probably until we pay off the trailer, more than likely. But it depends if we're gonna have to take a loan out for the trailer, or if we buy the trailer outright. That's what's gonna really matter, because if we have to buy it outright, it's gonna be an issue. Get it done. Hopefully, we get there, get this done. Hopefully we don't get any, you know, any accidents. You know, I'm trying my best not to sometimes, but it's like sometimes you get going down a long road, and then you know, you just finally see it on the GPS that there's a turn like a while up ahead. It's like, and we just go straight forever, you know, that kind of thing. That's pretty much how it is, because you're basically, you know, doing nothing but going down the same piece of road for a while. But I think we'll make out okay if we can, you know, just keep it at like whatever the speed limit is. Might be 55, might be 65, you know. As long as we stay in between the speed limit and just let it do its thing, it's gonna be okay. You know, but that was the hard part, is like, I just want to not drive. And then it's like, yeah, might as well drive, right? But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes using controller is not the easiest thing. I think like having a steering wheel is probably easier. I would just you know, think that would make this game a little bit easier for me. You know, have that and a shifter and all that. I one day will. One day. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get to that point, right? And I'm hoping that, you know, it's not gonna be too hard. You know, once we get where we gotta go with this pipe, hopefully it just goes easy, you know. Just unhook, wherever they tell us to put it is where we're gonna put it. We're just not gonna argue. But I have no idea where they're gonna take us, so like, the only thing I could think of, right, like, hear me out, right, if you know, like how they end up, you know, remodeling gas stations every once in a while, right? What are the odds that it could be a gas station that we deliver this pipe to? Like, you know, just before the remodel, sometimes they'll bring in the materials and stage them, you know? Like, they'll bring in sometimes pipe, or they'll bring in, you know, lumber, or whatever it is, right? Like, whatever it is that they're going to be doing, right? I'm just hoping that the odds are that doesn't happen. And we're almost out of fuel again. Holy jeez, man. You know, that's the biggest thing is, like, the fuel consumption is, like, really, like, up when you start going really, really far like this. But then again, you're always, like, if you have to repair your truck and all that stuff while you got the trailer in the back, I mean, it could add. The minutes that you lose, you have to try to make back, like, the whole run, so you're gonna be, like, behind where you should be, kind of. Depending on how long you're there, depending on what you're doing. But it's like, all I want to do, really, for this truck at one point is just have it where it's all, you know, upgraded, and, you know, I can take, you know, some of these hills, because you get going up some of these hills and it'll just lose steam like nobody's business, you know? Like, you'd be going fine, you'd be going, you know, 55, for example, right? This truck will lose speed depending on if I have to slow down or not. It's just kind of weird. Like, I wouldn't think that it should be that, you know, weird a thing, but it is. Like, you have to then keep going down until you find a gear that will, you know, open up the hill. But it's like, I don't think that's the point sometimes. But, you know, it's like, I just want to, you know, at the end of the day, get there, get back, and kind of start building up money so that I can put into this truck some money so that I can have a little bit better, like, just going up hills. That's the problem that I'm having right now, is just going up hills. Like, even with this load of pipe, it's still kind of struggling sometimes going up some of the hills. So I think the best way to fix that is to upgrade the motor. That should be a simple job, I would imagine, but nothing's ever simple, they say. But yeah, I think we're gonna get there. I mean, it's, yeah, gonna take more and more time, but at least I'm catching up for some of the downtime that I had. You know, when I stopped to reset the clock, you know, every once in a while, like you have to. If I didn't have to rest like all the time, yeah, I could probably been there and back already. But I just decided, yeah, you know, let's try it, like, you know, they actually would, you know. But you know, the whole problem that I have is just the rest thing that kind of eats into your time, like how much you can travel, kind of thing. And if I didn't have to worry about how far I could go in a day, I probably would have been there already. But, you know, I know that's not realistic, but, you know, sometimes you just want to go, you know, I just want to get there, you know, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. The only thing that matters is if we get there with no tickets. That's the only thing that matters. Because as they say, it's only illegal if you get caught. You know? running over the clock. Oh, you know, it's only legal if they catch you. You know, and I hope that they don't, but I don't plan on running off, you know, over the clock anyway, so, you know, it's kind of a good thing that I'm not really, you know, trying to go over that clock or anything. I'm just trying to get to this delivery done. Hopefully I can find a load of pipe back, because that'd be pretty easy. Or at least going this way, I should say. Going back towards the west. Going back towards California, hopefully, because that would be the spot where I want to go to see if I can get some heavy loads. But in order to get there, you know, we're gonna have to get this done and then hopefully find a backhaul that's going that way. If not, you know, we'll have to see how close we can actually get. It's like The Price is Right. Guess how much, right? I'm just trying to get within a few miles of where I'm trying to go. But that wouldn't be too hard, I wouldn't think, because I'm trying to get it's kind of easy. But, you know, good thing I already fueled, and you know we still got time to drive, so I guess we get to drive into the night again. It seems like might be daytime, might be nighttime, who knows? But we might be driving into the night again, which is okay with me, because again, I don't really mind. It's, you know, it's what's gonna happen, you know. Eventually you're gonna have to drive, and hopefully it's not all at night. Hopefully. But, you know, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You know, I hope it all goes okay, and, you know, nothing happens, but, you know, you can't really tell with the, you know, just the way the traffic is, you know. Somebody could ram into you, and that take time out of your clock right there while you're waiting for them to come out and investigate and to find out that it wasn't your fault, you know. That's the whole thing. It's like, I don't know why you'd want to, but, you know, hopefully that doesn't happen. But where I'm trying to get, you know, where I'm trying to get back to isn't going to be that hard to get back to. It's just, it's all about just the drive time and hoping that I can kind of beat the clock before it runs out, kind of thing. You know, it's just you versus the clock kind of thing. I'm hoping I can always beat the clock, but it's never gonna be easy to beat it, because, you know, if you slow down, like this truck does going up hills, and you have to go up a long stretch of hill, it's gonna take you forever to get there. You might even run out of drive time on the clock before you even get to the end of it. You know, and then it's like, well, I guess I gotta stop and reset the clock and do all this stuff. It's not easy, because, you know, it just never is. I'm always trying to beat it, but you never really can. Why did you slam on your brakes, guy? Just keep going. You know? Just keep the truck moving, just keep it coasting. If they're in front of you and they cut in front of you, well, you'll have to deal with the problem after that, because it ain't yours, right? Alright, so I would assume that we're getting closer every time I come to like one of these. I'm like, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer. But yeah, hopefully no wrecks up ahead, so I can just continue with what my GPS says. I hope. Worst case, I have to get rerouted, which is not gonna be fun, but it'll be what we have to do. But it's not gonna matter either way. Getting all that done. We got, you know, all the driving time down to here, so I mean, I think I made up, just by my calculations, I think I made up what I would have lost anyway, just by having to stop and rest and, you know, get that clock all done and reset. Yeah, it's just what you have to do. And it's just, I can imagine people in real life being like, I could drive more, but, you know. I can imagine it. Okay, that guy ran into me. Like, how? See, I told you, as soon as we run into one of them, it's gonna cause a problem. And it did. It causes problems. But it wasn't even my fault. They, like, turned right into my truck. Like, I shouldn't have to. You know, I shouldn't have to slow down for that. I mean, because I was slowing down. Plus, you turned into the side of my truck. Ooh, you know, who pays for that one, right? Anyway. Now I'll have to probably, you know, get this truck repaired again. For something that wasn't my fault. At least this time was not my fault. See, that's the kind of thing that I wish that, you know, this game kind of had sometimes, is like, where if the AI turns into you, you know, you don't get the damage from it. Because sometimes they do that, and then they damage your truck, and it's not even you that damaged your own truck, you know? I don't know, sometimes that makes me mad. Or like this, where everybody just decides to hit the brakes and hangs me out. And there was nothing I could do, because I can't really turn to the side of him. So, you know, that's kind of the whole problem there too, sometimes too. It'll probably get fixed later on, but it's just right now, you know. So the thing that makes me mad is when they keep going, and then eventually they just slam right on their brakes right in front of you. It's like, there's nowhere for me to go. I'd imagine in real life that'd be a problem too, because there probably would be nowhere to go. I mean, in certain situations, like, if you're doing what I was doing, just, and they stop, and it's like, where do you want me to go?
Close your eyes.
You know, I was gonna turn into that lane, but I can't, because you're, you know, the back of your trailer's still sticking out in the freaking intersection. It's like, what do you want me to do, right? I mean, I could imagine it, that happening somewhere sometimes. But yeah, that's the only thing I could think of, really. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but maybe it has nothing to do with it. Sometimes, you know, you just never know. You know, am I gonna end up getting hit for something I didn't do? Is somebody gonna run to the side of my truck, resulting in damage that, again, I didn't do? But I'll have to pay for it, but I didn't cause it. It's like one of those things, right? It's like you just gotta pick your battles sometimes. You know, like, do you, you know, keep going, do you not? You know, it's a whole process, I guess. Alright, so we're getting somewhere now. I know we're getting ready to almost deliver this thing, so it's just the whole thing about driving. It just seems like it takes you sometimes in this game forever to go somewhere. But at the same time it doesn't, but at the same time it feels like that. Like, see, right here, because I'm going to have to go back down and start off in first gear again. It might take me a minute, you know, to get going. But if I didn't have any momentum getting up the initial ramp, it would not have been fun.
Close your eyes.
It would have not been fun, because it would have been, you know, slipping and sliding, going everywhere. And it just, you know, it's not fun that way. Because it'll slip, slide, and it'll fight you. You know, it'll fight you all the time, but it's really gonna fight you then. So I hope we get there and get this thing offloaded. Or, you know, just leave it where they want it. I hope, you know, we deliver somewhere good. I don't know, are we gonna, like, end up delivering to a gas station or something? Or is it gonna be like a repair shop or what? You know, it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, it could be a repair shop, could be a gas station, could be anything. But if they're going to do any remodeling or relaying of, you know, road work or anything like that, they'll always have us, you know, sometimes prestage the equipment that they need. 99% of the time. It's not all the time. But it is like something that I have noticed. At least like when they say, oh, well, we're gonna redo this at whatever day, and then the materials are already there, you know. So, you know, I will see you all in the next one.